Let's kick it old school! Old school essentials. The further adventures of the Thunderous Fury.
All right, it is Old School Essentials, the Further Adventures of the Thunderous Fury, session 54. Time for the recap.
So we started out by smoking the herb to determine whether we should be doing this or not. So we smoked the barley, and it turned out that there was much confusion to be had about the outcome, no matter what. Lots of debate. Remy, who is among other things, apparently our mage, even though the old lady is hanging around us, identified the spell book and gave the list of spells, some of which were obviously portal related. So obviously we got the spell book from Portal Mage. So we decided that we can't take on a whole camp and rescue Karn without some sort of help. So some of us go back to Yasida in order to stir him up and get him raiding the Ape Empire's post there.
Felix and Glurk went to Yasida to tell him that the apes were on his land and to bring soldiers. And there was, I believe, a bandit attack in the middle of the night that you guys took care of, killed some bandits.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Clintok spotted the intruders, took care of them fairly well. Oh, yeah, he was also scouting for Dolly to get her in on this plot. And he did manage to find her and offered her the spell book to help, which she agreed, and leads her back to the camp. Then we had the, not exactly a false alarm, but the fun side note of Yak falling in a sinkhole, because apparently Yaks can't tell when the ground is falling out underneath of them and run away on their own. We find out that Karnawa either is incredibly strong or made a fantastic roll, so she manages to pull the yak out, and Basil is, of course, impressed with her training.
Right.
Then the next day it was snowing, and so, of course, the people on watch to see something incoming that vanishes, but there's footprints still coming, invisible person in the snow, but they claim to be a friend, and they appear wearing a jerkin of many different colors, and so yes, indeed, it looks like one of those guys, whoever they are.
They hung out. They were a part of the Guild of Many Colors. They hung out to keep warm because it was snowing and cold, and they ended up leaving.
Yeah.
Yep.
Zolfan talked to them, I think.
No, Zofan was out because he had a concussion. Basil was the one talking to him.
Ah, that's right.
Yeah.
I remember I talked to
Basil
him for a while. That makes sense.
So we're sitting there in a rather cold camp for a day, but Felix and the Hobgoblin finally make it back to Yusida's camp and stir him up against the ape army. But of course, there has to be a dead yak, because apparently before any sort of action, there's a dead yak. So we let him take Karn's, because Karn won't need the yak when he gets back or anything like that. So we do the split up plan that worked so well before, even though I wasn't in on that session. And most of Yasida's folks go off one direction, while we go off the other direction, looking for Karn or the way to get Karn. We vaguely see Yasida's people banging up against the apes in the distance, and Orion helps them out with an entangle, but of course he also has to use one of them himself. Then, of course, as we get close enough, we find Mr. I've taken a dart and developed a third eye, who manages to roll 2 natural 20s in the first 2 rounds of combat and just absolutely tear us apart starting out with. Killed Felix there. But apparently, because of that, we weren't enough of the challenge, and he saw us retreating anyway, and he went to deal with Yasida. And he and Yusita had a good old bang up, but unfortunately Yusita really got the worst end of the stick and ended up dying to Mr. Three-Eyed Ape there. But at least he found his challenge. At least both of them found his challenge. So Dolly decides that, yeah, she can figure it. She can figure out this portal thing. And we play with the crystals and play with the runes and finally get the thing working. And decide we want to go through. Oh, yes, we did kill a few random servants in the meantime. And I can't remember. With the Big Ape with the Spellcaster, did we kill him? We got him a couple of hits, but I don't think we killed him. Did he run off?
I'm pretty sure you killed him.
Yeah, he died.
Yeah.
Barely.
You
but he
killed
died.
him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All in all, I guess not a bad showing, except for the massive guy with the third eye, who just tore through our front line like nothing to start out with. Of course, started out with 6 doses of healing potion and ended up with none because everybody had to take a little healing potion. So, so now we are ready to jump in the really deep end by going to the Ape capital because, it's not bad enough. Not bad enough that we got our asses handed to us. We're going to have to go into the Ape capital and raise Cain there just to have any real fun.
I think you got it right. The third eye ape first fought Basil because he recognized him
Yeah.
and thanked him for the third eye. And I believe I nat 20'd Basil. And then the second shot dropped him. And then Felix grabbed one of the workers who they were giving weapons to and used him as a human shield. And that's when the third eye guy came over and destroyed it with a nat 20 and then hit Felix with a nat 20. And then he went and fought Yusita. Dolly opened the portal. She did not come through. All right, so you guys have entered the portal. We are going to go to initiative just so we have some sort of order. The room that you have entered again is like a marble room. You can like taste the humid air. You can feel it. It's very humid. Obviously, Lindbergh is a coastal city, so you can kind of like feel the humidity in this room. It's a marble room with 7 archways that lead to either doors or just a hallway. And it's a dome at the top. And there's like a shimmering door portal behind you as you have stepped through. And there's 2 apes at a desk, like talking to each other. Where's my P6? 5.
Clintok. It's gonna try and start us off here
Come on, Clintok.
with a 6.
Ooh.
Okay. Right at this moment, as you have the 4 of you have stepped through, I'm going to make one roll just so.
Nice.
Okay, very good. So the 4 of you are standing there. They have not noticed you. They're kind of like talking to each other right now.
Clintok is gonna try for persuasion first.
Okay.
He says, quickly, we don't have much time. Those from Clinkville have transformed us with the power of a wizard.
That was better than what I was going to do. See, this is why I let Clintok lead on those sort of things.
We need escort to the captured Cuthbertian now.
Tough and bird tight.
Yes, Cuthbertite. Ugh. Disgusting.
Okay, so both of them look up and their eyes get wide, like, what? What's the rest of you doing as he says this?
Hearing Clintok's off the cuff wit, Zolfan would be like, this form is positively hideous. I mean, who wears this? As he as he's like feeling his jerkin that has lots of colors on it.
I will actually answer the question and say someone alerted the hobgoblins to our presence and they're attacking the camp.
They must have somebody helping them. Some Cuthbertites. Someone familiar with magic.
Russell, give me a D6 roll.
Me?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm determining.
All right. Looks like a 3, solidly average.
Okay, and Dustin, give me a D6 roll.
You got it. 4.
So the two of them look up, and they like, and one of them, the one sitting, looks at the other one and says, I told you things were afoot. You didn't listen. Didn't you hear what happened? And the other one just kind of shakes his head. He's like, what? And he starts to walk over to you guys. Let me see. And he gets within like 10 feet and he stops and he's like, he sees you guys. And you can notice he is looking at your condition as there's blood all over you and how bad you all look. And he was like,
yes, clearly this human form is weaker than our ape form. We sustained injuries.
I don't know how I'm even alive right now.
and he looks over at the one sitting. And he says, Quintinus, get Fabius quickly out here now. And he starts yelling for him.
Yes, we can get Fabius, but we must get to the Cuthbert. The Cuthbertite, whatever they are. The infidel.
So out of you hear this commotion. Behind you, you hear a door open. You hear them yell. And a door opens, and as you guys like are turning, this ape comes running out in like he's like got a tunic on with a almost like an orange toga with his sandals, comes running out, and he just oh my, and he starts to put his hands on Basil, like examining your head injury.
Ugh. The hobgoblins. They got me from behind.
My, they transformed you even. What has happened? What? And he's like thoroughly examining like your injury, like
some sort of blasted magical ambush.
We were having a meal and laughing at the captured prisoners as they were completing their chores around the camp, when all of a sudden the camp went completely dark, and we heard the sound of explosions from around the camp, and in the darkness this blast of purple just filled our vision. And then when we were able to find light, we've returned to these crude forms.
And then he says something in Simian, the ape language, to you.
To who? Anyone in particular?
Yeah, he says it to Basil, but
Hold on, let's see.
This magic is...
Hopefully, I'm the language guy. Let's see. Did I get long enough? I get far enough to get languages? Hold on. I have to actually go to the source book. Sorry, I got to read. Yeah.
okay.
Got to read the off chance, the incredibly off chance. I know bards eventually get languages, but I got to go to the actual player's handbook. So as you're doing this, the one who came up to you and was like talking to you, and he's like, step aside. He starts to speak in ape language, and you can see him motioning for you to move out of the way. And he starts talking to the guy at the desk, and
in ape language, and he walks through the portal. And the guy at the desk just raises his hands like, and then the portal
That's not
vanishes.
good. And the portal vanishes. Oh boy.
And the guy goes at the desk goes, kind of he's shocked.
This blasted magic has twisted my ears and my tongue. What did he say? Where's he going?
And the ape looks at you and he speaks in Simian to you.
You idiot, I told you I can't hear right now. Speak
Wait a
in
minute.
gross tone.
Hey, I did get a language at 4th level, and I haven't selected it yet. Can I make it Simian just for the fun?
Yes, I'd let you do that. I'll give you basic. I mean, you're not going to be like the King's English, but yeah, you could speak a little bit. Yeah.
Got
Fine.
5th grade,
Yeah.
grade level Simian.
Yeah, it's fine.
So what did he say to Clintok there?
He says to Zofan, do you understand what I'm saying? I mean, I'm sorry, Basil. He says, do you understand what I'm saying? And then the guy who was up in front, who was talking to the other guy, says, I don't know what's going on. I'm going to go through the portal and find out. And then the guy at the desk was like, why are you doing that? And he went through the portal. And then he asked Clintok, do you understand what I'm saying?
I will say, I still understand the mother tongue. I was not as badly affected as those two in Simian.
Okay. He just shakes his head. He says, then we will speak in common then, if this magic has affected your minds as well. He kind of looks at Felix like, holy shit, he looks like hell. He's like,
or maybe
come
bleeding out over here. Jesus.
Come,
maybe
let's do some let's do some healing. Let me check you.
Yes.
And he starts to walk towards which would be on your map if you look at it at the bottom left. It's 5,
Okay.
but it's hard to see.
Yeah.
It's the bottom left-hand corner. So he starts to walk that way. The portal has vanished, and the one guy's like, he yells back in Simian, what do you want me to do, doctor? And he turns back and says, well, inform the hire that there's been an incident. He's like, yes.
Oh, great. Internally, I think, yeah, great. This place is going to be crawling with apes soon enough.
So yeah, he kind of gets up. He looks confused. The guy kind of looks confused, and he goes in. You see him go in the double doors just to the left, which would be like number 7. Actually, that's not a double door. That's one big friggin' door. And he just kind of knocks on it, and the door just kind of creaks open, and he scoots back behind there. And you are walking with who they've called the doctor to wherever he's taking you. You go into a small hallway and open the door into a room. It's got some windows. There's light coming in. It's very warm in here. There's kind of like a bed right in the middle. An examining table that's got like cloth and pillows on it, and a couple desks, and there's some steps leading down. And he looks at he's examining. He kind of looks at the lot of you, and he's like, looks at Felix. He says, "Yes, you on the board. In the examining. Let me take a look at you."
Please, sooner rather than later. And he like slowly ambles his way up onto the table.
Yeah, so he starts looking. He looks at your injury. He's like, oh my god, it looks horrible. He's taken back, and
the doctor saying this. Great bedside manner.
You,
Boy,
yeah,
you
he's-
look like shit.
can't tell if it's the human or if it's just you.
yeah. He said, he says, and you were transformed into these as well.
Yes, that's how they got the jump on us.
Oh. And he looks at Felix and he says, now what is your simian name?
My simian name?
Your real name. What is your name?
To a subordinate, a healer? I will not answer these questions. We do not have time for this.
He just kind of shakes. He kind of just shakes his head like, why are you making this so difficult on me? I'm trying to help you. And he turns his back and goes to the corner of this room. The room is not very big. It's like 20 feet across, but there's like a little table, and he's like opening he's like opening like it's got some shelves. He's opening a little door, and he's like going through his bottles and his different things.
That is an interesting question. When the big guy challenged Yasida, did he give the? I swear they said their names because they challenged each other to start out with.
I don't remember if he did give his name. Well, during that last session when Orion, I forgot to mention this, when you brought up the rebel group, remember you said, I'm going to mention a group that is a problem for the Ape Empire, but I'm not going to mention Thunderous Fury, St. Cuthbert. You mentioned the Sons of Mantro.
The Sons of Mantro, okay.
Right, okay.
Oh, right, because we wanted to play it off as somebody else.
Yeah. Okay, so is anybody doing anything other than...
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got a question. I as a player don't know exactly what Zofan or Basil would know regarding like Ape Empire military customs, or like how they structure their grip on the realms. Like I know that there's an Emperor like per area.
Right.
But two things. One, Basil and Zofan might be interested to know, like, at least Zofan would be trying to make small talk. And asking like, what's the news? Would Zofan know?
Well, it's just Basil because Zofan didn't go through.
That's right. Would Basil know? Would Basil know like how they structure their forces in such a way that he would know who like gathers information, like how that circulates? Like hey, what's the news from the Mark? It's like the riders of Rohan are going out and going across Rohan and finding the news. So like, what's the news from the Navy or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, actually, the last place, the place that has the most upset, it hasn't been that long, I don't think, would be Clinkville.
Give me a roll, and on this roll, you are going to add 4 to that because you're concussed.
Would you look at that? That's a nat 1.
Okay,
Ooh.
so even in your concussed state, the Ape Empire is set into 4 areas, and there's an Emperor for each one. The Emperor is not an ape. It's usually not necessarily an ape. It's usually a person who is familiar with the populace, so they can relate to them. But you're in Central Anor, which is the capital of the Ape Empire, which the Emperor here is an ape. And what specifically you want to know, like how they gather information, or?
Yeah. I want to know, like, how does news from the Empire make its way back into, like, is there like a general way that the news from like within the Empire makes its way back to the capital city? Is there like a news service or a courier or?
Yeah, there would be couriers usually. The birds that they have, they'll send birds if it's like an urgent message. There's also discussion that's done magically through magic, but the Ape Empire probably wouldn't tell you how that's done. Or it's through sailing ships, like trade ships that come back, through into Lindbergh, because it's a coastal city, so a lot of people will come and they'll get information that way.
What news from the seas? I have been stationed for a long time. Where were we? Like what part?
You were in East Anor, in the southern mountains. There's a specific name for the mountains. They're called the Star X Dooku. They're called the Old Ghost Mountains. So you could say the Hobgoblin Mountains, or
Gotcha. I've been stationed in the Hobgoblin Mountains for some time. It's been a while since I've returned back to Lindbergh. What news have the ships brought?
He kind of turns as he's holding like a couple bottles in his hand, and he looks at you and he's like, well, there's an insurrection, some sort of something going on in Clinkville with the Cuthbertites. I have seen a few soldiers pass through here. I have treated a few that have returned on the ships.
So while I'm going to sort of wander near to where the doctor is playing around with his potions, etc., see if I can figure out if there's anything in there that would help us in one way or another. So what I'm basing this on is lore, trying to figure out what's in the doctor's, apothecary there. But at some point we got to get away from this guy and go looking for Cuthbertite. Go looking for our favorite Cuthbertite.
So he's got a thing called cat's wart. And that is supposed to induces sleep. It's a sedative. It's a calming sedative that induces sleep.
Oh, is that one of the things he's holding?
You can see it up on in his shelf.
Oh, okay. Okay. To my knowledge, is this like ether inhaled, or is this?
You put it in like a drink. You put it in a drink, but it doesn't
Okay.
look like he's got anything magical up here. It looks like all like herbs and stuff like that.
Damn. Why would the doctor have magical shit?
It's the Ape Empire, baby.
Magic?
They're homeopathic.
We've had our ass smacked by some of their mages. Well, again, I'm just looking around for opportunities. I'm still sort of taking my lead from Clintok because his usual brand of BS has worked so well.
Luck eventually runs out.
At night, you often hear Orion muttering, "Why am I a bard? Clintok makes up so much better stories. Why am I a bard?"
So he turns back, he takes some of that cat's wart, and you see him he pulls out looks like lavender and some kind of flowers, and he's grinding it up.
Okay, I'll make sure he's considering I do know what the batwort will do. I will make sure I'm sort of out of the doctor's line of sight and attract Clintok's attention, and Mal don't drink yet, and sort of go,
Yeah. Felix gets the hint, and he'll wait until he turns back around to whatever he's gonna do to give it to him.
Yeah, he's got like a jar, ceramic jug of water, and he pours this thing in, and he says, "This will help you rest." And he sets it down like on a little table next to where you are, and he reaches out. First, he reaches into his toga and kind of holds some sort of like gem or something. You see him grab, and then he reaches his other hand on like where your injury is.
Mm-hmm.
And you can feel like a little bit of like burning almost, but he puts his hand away and you can see that it is healed.
Oh, nice.
It's kind of a funky ass scar and it looks red, but whatever your max HP is, you're back to max HP minus the 3, because I think that's what I said in the beginning.
Yeah.
He says, but you need rest. You need rest. This will help you sleep.
We don't have time for rest. The rest of their ambushing party could come through at any moment.
That there are other soldiers here. There are other. That is their job. You need to head back to the barracks and rest.
The longer I'm trapped in this putrid form, I will go crazy, I tell you.
I mean, I may have something for that as well.
You can't go back to the barracks looking like this. We'll be made fun of.
Where's the Cuthbertite? He knows where they are. Know it.
I'll just roll my eyes like I'm sympathizing with the doctor, and I will pick up the sleep rod and say, I'll make sure the idiot takes it when he finally collapses.
Yes. Then he looks over at Basil. He says, you're next. Go ahead and lay down. Let me take a look at you.
He complies.
Okay. So again, he's like checking your head and shakes his head, and he goes over and he kind of makes the same thing, and puts it in a little vial or whatever. He comes over with a little cork and corks it, so you've got like 2 sleep elixirs. And he says, you should best take them when you get back to the barracks and get yourself some rest. And then he does the same thing. He holds like this, it looks like some kind of crystal or something. He grabs and he holds like your head, and you feel a little bit of a burning, and then all of a sudden you've got a funky like scar where the injury was, and you are back to max hit points.
Is there anything you can do for my swimming head?
No, just some rest right now. You need to get back to the barracks regardless of your conditions. You don't need to be fighting anyone. Stubborn asses.
Clearly, I understand. We should all get some rest, but as you can tell, if you would be trapped in such a disgusting form, that I can't imagine that you would want to be free of it as soon as possible.
I will go to the archives next door to see if there is some way to reverse this. I will look into that, get someone on it.
Fine. I will say in Simeon, I'll make sure the idiots take their draws.
He's like, make sure at least get out of these clothes. They're blood soaked, and gotta change your clothes and get a rest. And he leads you to the door and opens it.
Fine then.
All right. So yeah, he leads. He's kind of watching to see what you do as he's standing there by the door as you walk out.
Go to wherever he said there was a change of clothes, and Felix will try and change out of his like blood-soaked clothes.
Is that what he was doing? Change of clothes, or?
Well, he said go back to the barracks. So as you're kind of like standing there, like trying to he points over to where that big door was that the guy went through, and he's like, "It's that way. Have you forgotten? Let's go." He points.
Okay.
We'll go in that direction.
Okay.
Orion is thinking, this is what we want, lots of barracks with lots of apes around. Gosh, lovely.
Felix says, Of course I know where it's at, but do you think we would fare well unescorted, looking like this?"
See, he looks annoyed, but he realizes that, your condition, it could cause a problem. So he starts to walk with you. He says, "Follow me," and he starts to walk in that way with the big door is.
Follow immediately behind.
Okay.
Clintok will be attempting to palm his dagger in case he needs to do anything.
So you get up to this door and you rap on it. You can see that it's like a huge 10-foot wooden door that's reinforced with some kind of iron on it. It's got these funky symbols on there. And he kind of raps on the door, and the door unlocks and opens. And the guy in the tunic who you saw at the desk who ran in there kind of peeks his head out, and he's like, "Oh, okay." And they talk in Simeon. He says, "Whoa, what's going on?" He's like, he says they're badly injured. They need rest. They're talking about going and fighting. They're not going to do any of that. They need to rest. Just let them in. And he's like, "Okay." And he walks past you and goes to the desk. He opens up, and you walk into this room, and there are steps that go up. And it's like a second level, but it's like a balcony. And you can see that there are like sleeping areas upstairs on the second level. And on this first level are a bunch of desks, and there are two apes kind of sitting around. One's like got like cards or something he's playing with, and the other one is sitting in a pool of water. You can see like the water steaming. And there's assorted like weapons in here, and some armor, and some food and drinks. And the doctor, he kind of shuffles you in, and the two of them just kind of look at each other like, "Who the hell? What the hell?" And he says to them, they've been injured and fallen under some sort of transformation from some sort of magic transformation. They need rest. Your superiors should be informed. And the one guy in the water yells at the other guy who's playing cards. He's like, go inform our supervisor." The guy gets up with the cards, and he gets up and he walks up the stairs, and you see him like walk down the balcony to basically a wall. And the wall shifts, and he kind of walks through it, and the wall goes back. You can tell it's some kind of secret door or something. Gotcha. And he leaves. And then the guy in the pool says something to you guys. He says, "Go ahead and get your rest. Hopefully you'll transform soon. These forms are disgusting."
What I need right now more than anything else is a drink. Where can I get some drink around here?
And he just kind of points to the table, and there's like, some mead or some sort of ale and some half, some like mugs and stuff that they've poured out.
Not this, Will. I need some top shelf stuff to fall asleep looking like this.
He's like, "We did not raise that is sufficient for you."
Well, at least drink with us.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to hear. I will go start preparing drinks for everybody.
Okay. He's like, "Very well."
Of course, the drink that I'm preparing for big guy there has a little extra kick in it.
Yeah, you can tell he gets up and he puts his cloak on, and the doctor says, if you need me, I will be in my area. If anything happens and any more complications, I will be looking into what has transpired. And he opens it's got like a big circle like hook on it, and he unlocks the door and pulls it, walks out. So the big guy comes over in his cloak and he's like, okay, let us drink to whatever has transpired. It's like maybe they'll have to send the Orokema down there to wherever this in those mountains. And you know that you've heard that name before. The Orokema is sort of like the chosen soldiers of the king. So they're kind of like elite troops.
Clintok says, nothing I couldn't handle if I wasn't gotten the jump on us.
We will train in the morning. Make sure that doesn't happen again.
Well, I hope so.
So I assume you give him the glass it's got both the potions in it.
I give him the doctored glass. I give him the doctored glass. Yeah.
Okay. Are you going to give him both sleep elixirs, or are you going to keep one?
It's a speed versus. That's not the problem. The problem is how much I think I can put in without being damned obvious about spiking the thing. So I'll have to pick something that's fairly, pick a drink that's fairly flavorful as a base to start out with, and then sort of surreptitiously, touch my finger to the elixir and touch my tongue and see how strongly flavored it is. In other words, I'm going to give him as much as I think I can get away with and not obviously be drugging the guy.
Okay. Yeah, you can do that. So yeah, you could easily get one, and like two might be kind of hard to get both of them into a drink.
And for everybody, what I'm going to do is how many different types of drinks are out there on the table?
There's some kind of mead, and there's some kind of ale, and there's like 4 or 5 mugs and a couple jugs that look like they've got some in it. There are some in. It looks like they've poured them out in different, and people have left some or whatever. That's what it kind of looks like.
One quick question.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. What time of day is it? Is it this like all interior? Is there like any like windows so we can talk?
Let's see. In this building, there are no windows. When you're in the doctor's office, you could tell it was morning. Okay. It was early morning.
All right. That was fine.
Okay. Well, I'm going to cover up my machinations by making a mixed drink with a couple of different things and go, this is how we do it. This is how we do it in the so-and-so province, and name an ape province that's sort of known for its backwater stupidity. Obviously mixed up a couple of drinks and then divided among everybody and handed out,
You're like, yeah, this is how we do it in North and Nor. And you all take a drink, I assume, and he takes it down. He's like, maybe that's been sitting out a little bit too long, but it's not bad. So, explain to me what happened. Why are you not speaking in the mother tongue?
Whatever infernal magic has muddled our minds as well as our bodies.
I will say in Simian, and then repeat it in common, so it's clear that I'm saying the same thing to both. Speak for yourself, brother. Some of us were better than that.
Trying to rub it in, aren't we? They still stole all of your looks, clearly. You're the most ugly of us all.
Well, unfortunately, I do not recognize you in this transformation. Who are you? You've obviously come through these barracks and gone to the mountains on this mission, so I've probably seen you a time or two.
Yes, but a part of this magic curse I found out in the other room is that I can't access my own name.
That is That's quite convenient.
Yes. What better way to curse? Ugh.
In any case, is there like an obvious restroom here?
Restroom. There would have to be a restroom. Yes. You
There
can
would
see
have
that.
to be a bathroom in this area. Yes, it's the Barracks.
Yes. So like in the back corner, you can see that there's like a curtain. That's probably where the chamber pot is.
Not a window.
Okay.
Just throw it out.
Looking for something. I'm looking for something to clean up. Basically, wet towels, whatever.
Yeah, I mean you can go near where that big pool is that he was sitting in. It's it's like 5 feet. It's pretty big. It looks like the water's kind of like boiling, but there's some towels and things there. You could grab some wet towels and clean yourself.
Okay. Toss a couple of wet towels to the other two guys and say, we may be in these ridiculous bodies, but we can uphold the standards anyway. Clean yourselves up. And toss them a couple of towels and, start getting some of the worst of the blood off of myself, etc.
Felix cleans himself up.
Yeah, he walks over to Orion. He says, "In Simeon, clearly you have remained some of your faculties. Who do you recall who you were? Your name?"
So, I mean, we've been bumming around Ape Empire. Long enough, right?
Right.
So pick up common ape names.
Right. So it's basically based on the Roman Empire. So, in that fashion, you would probably be. I mean, you could take a gander. Augustus would probably be a common Ape Empire name.
And I will say in Simeon, I pick on those two, but I'm still not sure. Augustus seems familiar, though.
Oh. Augustus. Oh. And he yawns. Oh, yes. Let me check with Quintus out there to see if he has any if he's been keeping track who's come and who's coming and going. Maybe we can track down who you were. And he walks.
That would be a great relief.
He walks over to the door, kind of looks back at you guys, and pulls it and opens it and walks through in his wet robe.
So is there another way? I mean, is there another way out of this?
Secret door for one. And then maybe something on like the floor above.
Wait, where is the secret door?
It's like upstairs. It's like a balcony. There's 2 balconies, and you saw one of them like open like a secret door where there was a wall.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right, and he was going to inform the commander. So sooner or later, there's going to be a commander coming back down through that way, I suspect. So we need a third option. Big, sleepy, suspicious ape, commander coming down on our asses, or is there a third way out?
There are a lot of doors back in the corridor there.
If we're not here, then we will. That could be a bad look.
Right.
So by leaving this room, we are officially casting suspicion on us.
You want
to? We need to keep up this ruse long enough to find out where a certain someone is.
And you hear Orion mutter, "Can't repeat the stories. No one would believe it. Can't repeat the stories. No one would believe it." Fine, I get your point. And I'm sure the apes are going like, "This is really suspicious, but there's no way in hell anybody would be this stupid." Right.
Dustin, give me a 2d6 roll.
9.
Yeah, you guys are in this room. Like I said, there's some weapons, some food, some drinks. It looks like a soldier's barracks, a little bit in I wouldn't say disarray, but it's not like dress right dress. There's some beds. It seems to be there's no they were the only two in here at this point, but there could be others.
Yeah, Clintok will use this opportunity to find himself some nice cheese and drink some of the wine that was on the table and be lounging on one of the beds.
Yes. Yeah, you can easily. Yeah, you can. There's a bed upstairs. You could easily walk upstairs and just kind of like relax.
What's the ape build? Are they normally bigger than us?
It depends. They are all shapes, since most of the soldiers you run into are usually bigger than you.
Orion's going to look for a uniform and close enough to his size that it's, that it could be a transformed, ape.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it might look a little big on you, but it's basically they wear a big leather breastplate with like thigh pads. And they've got that massive two-handed sword. You can see one of those like hanging up. I mean, yeah, you could put like a set of armor on if you wanted to.
Yeah. As long as it doesn't look personalized. I mean, if it's more, because of course, if somebody else walks in, we're probably screwed anyway. But
yeah, I mean, there's no identifying marks on it. Like nobody has put their initials on it.
So I will throw on some Ape Empire clothing so we can further fool them. I'm sorry. That is just, again, the bard is muttering under his breath of something about, "Can't repeat this. Nobody would believe it, even as part of the story." But, spend the time getting cleaned up, accoutramented, and we got healed on the Ape Empire's dime. Love it. By the way, I'm still down 3 hit points, but apparently it wasn't nearly as bad as those two and was overlooked, so I wasn't going to push it.
The door again opens. The big door, and the big guy comes walking through. It's like you're putting the armor on, and he's like, he kind of looks at you like, "What are you doing?" And then he's like,
if he gives me that look, I'll just say, just because I'm in this semi-and just because I'm in this hideous form doesn't mean that I must, be out of uniform too.
You bring up a good point. You are all out of uniform. Scratches his head a little bit, and he sits down in the chair. He's like, and he points at you. He says, "Yes, Augustus." And then he looks over at Basil. He says, "Primus, right?"
Lucius.
Lucius. And then he looks over at Clintok and he's like, "You must be." And then he falls asleep. Like his head hits the table and he starts snoring.
Clintok walks over and pats him on the head. Says, good. Sleep well. And then buries the dagger into his throat.
Okay. He is, you can coup de grace him, kill him. You have a dead body.
No, we have a guy who is passed out on his bunk once we move him. I will quickly grab a couple of towels and go, blood splatter, blood splatter, blood splatter, and wrap them around the neck, and then we will move the guy to one of the bunks.
Okay, it's an upstairs bunk. So yeah, you can take him up there.
Well, why did you kill him?
One less ape to fight.
Yeah, but now we have a dead body here.
Oh, there'll be many more dead bodies before we're done. Don't you worry, dear.
I hope so, but based on how the last fight went, I don't think our odds are particularly good.
Does it look like I was harmed in that?
Well, we can only get away with slitting throats in their sleep, in their sleep, so many times.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Maybe I was a little bit hasty with my stabbing.
Unless we could.
We're definitely on a. I mean, if we weren't on a clock before, we're now really on the clock now.
Okay.
Well, we might as well just see if we can. At this point, we might as well just see if we can find our way to the prison.
Capital idea, Basil. Capital idea.
Wes, give me a 2d6 roll.
4.
All right, so you got the body. Do you take it upstairs? What do you do with the towels and things that you wrapped it in that are now covered with blood?
Oh, clearly stuff them underneath the mattress.
Okay, very good. Yeah, it takes a couple of you guys carrying this dude because he may not be like super tall, but he is well built, and you lay him in the bed and stuff under the mattress. All right, now what?
All right. Does he have any keys or clothing?
No.
I mean, I wouldn't expect the barracks to have brochures.
I take that back. He has what looks like he has a piece of metal like that. It's like a long piece of metal, and you realize it's a magnet.
Oh. Maybe that's how we work the door over there.
Is there have we seen like any sort of literature, brochures, pamphlets, maps of like
was there like a "you are here" back in the portal room?
Yeah. Because like it's assuming they have like new recruits.
Do they have OSHA in this place? Did they publish it? Did they put up maps of escape routes and all of that?
There would have been some writing, Ape Simian writing around like on the walls. If you want to take some time to look at that. Outside of the barracks.
Since I'm intelligent enough to be literate, and I suddenly remember that I know Simeon now. Thanks for that, by the way. Sure. Seems like we're leaving this place, and I will say that I can read the stuff and step out and
see if we could find a way to the prison.
Yeah, we gotta save Karn after all.
Okay. So you're gonna step back outside the big door. So you step out there, and there is, of course, the ape who has been out there, who he called Quintus, is sitting there, and he is conversing with another ape who is holding a staff that has it has a green gem or some kind of crystal in it. And they are talking in Simian. He is like he's with, like they're gossiping, like he's talking to him. And you see in this big area, there are two elves, distinctly not apes, two elves like dressed in I wouldn't say like royal clothes or they've got their best commoner clothes on. Right, they've been cleaned and everything, and they're just kind of like looking and like they look almost like tourists.
What?
Clintok will stroll up to one of them and say, "Have you seen the prisons in this city yet? They're to die for." Practically, I wouldn't spend that much time in if I was you.
Because suggesting prisons is such a common occurrence. Yes, of course you'd visit the prison.
Hey, I mean, if I go to London, I'm going to the Tower of London, right?
It's true.
So this kind of elf is sort of like skinny, scrawny elf, turns and kind of straightens up, and then he sees you and he says, the prisons? Are you talking about the mines? I mean, we don't have any desire to look at the mines.
No, not the mines. The mines are something completely different. The prisons, where they keep political enemies, where they take those to be executed.
What?
You tell me you have not heard of them.
The prisons? I mean...
Okay, follow me over here, and I will go over to the desk with like Quintus and them.
Okay. So yeah, the two elves kind of follow you over like, well, who is this person? Why? What is going on?
When you can't dazzle them with this dexterity, baffle them with bullshit.
And Quintus he sees you guys come over and they stop talking. And then the one with the staff kind of gives you all like a look.
I know. It's disconcerting. I'm not used to this yet. Hopefully this is undone soonly. The mages here will hopefully figure out a way to turn us back. But these two here were wondering where we take our political prisoners, not the mines.
They're behind you going, no, we didn't. No, no, we didn't ask that. No. No. What? And Quintus is like, what? They didn't say that.
They didn't say that. Well, certainly they should see it. Everyone visiting the capital should see the greatness of Lindbergh, and that includes what we do to those that betray us.
But Quintus is like, no, he points again over to where the number 2 is marked on your map, like at the top right, left, right?
Right, yeah.
Double doors. He's like, the employment compensation office is over there. Dumbass elves. And they're like, okay. And they kind of like back away, and then they head back over there. And you see them like, they go and they just kind of like knock on the door.
Oh, see, I thought they were tourists. Clearly they're, yeah, my fault. I thought they'd been granted a tourist pass.
You can see the one with the staff, and he's like, the lower crowns are they're just as bad. And he kind of like brushes past you, and he starts to walk over to where the big door is.
To where the elves went?
No, to where you came from, the barracks.
Oh,
and he
okay.
walks over there, and he kind of raps on the big door.
Oh, aha. Don't mind. You're not going to get much help. He passed out. Had too much to drink. We got to talking. He hadn't heard all of these things that happened at camp, let alone the ambush and this. And he had too much to drink, so he's not going to be of any help for probably a couple hours at least.
He was too incredulous. Ended up becoming a drinking game.
He and Quintus, you see him, he's at the desk, and he fumbles with like a drawer, and he pulls out something that looks like the same thing you got, like that magnet, and he throws it over to him. And the guy catches it, and he puts the magnet against the door, and you hear it unlock. And he starts to pull the door open.
That's how you do it.
He says, he's like, he says in Simeon, I'll get his ass up. And he starts to pull the door and walk through.
You will not make him. Trust me on it.
And you hear it locked behind him.
Might you go deal with that? And he points to Felix. And Felix looks over at the bard who has the magnet and holds out his hand.
I will hand over the magnet. Just let's just imagining the shape of the upcoming disaster, and I will of course give him the magnet.
Felix takes it and hurries over to the door.
Okay.
You might need
Oh, yes.
We may need some help, just in case.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Hefting that drunkard up from bed will be a feat for all of us.
Yeah. So Basil.
I will just.
Well.
I will just sigh and face palm and go, oh, I can't take you guys anywhere, and follow after them because what the hell.
Clintok is going to stay in the room with Quintus.
Okay. So the rest of you go and you unlock the door and go inside.
Yep.
Okay.
Basically, are going to go up to where the body is at and see if we can kind of catch the guard, tail him until we get to that point.
Okay. We will say this is a brand new initiative, so we will start over.
I'm going to go grab a drink. Not the kind I want because,
2.
Yeah, actually, I have to use the bathroom real quick.
Okay, yeah,
right.
let's we'll roll and then we'll take a break right here.
I was going to say, this might be the opportunity that Felix might be appropriate since we're only competing against the 2, but I'm going to leave it up to you guys.
I got a +1, so.
Okay, that seems good.
Yeah, I got this one too.
4.
You rolled a 4?
I rolled a 3, but my dex it's a 4 total.
Right, but you're at -4.
Oh, that's right. So yeah,
you could reconsider if you want.
Is Orion added to -4?
No, only Felix and Basil Bessex.
Okay, so yeah, I should not roll them.
Okay.
I forgot that it applied to initiative.
Well, you do have a concussion, so it's understandable.
The cripples went in to kill the guy. Is this the end of us all? And just all right, I will roll rather than kvetching. I rolled a 5 plus 1 is 6.
All right, one thing. So in the barracks, there's the balcony. And on the right-hand side, there are 2 beds. And on the left-hand side, there are 2 beds. And the right-hand side is the secret door. Which bed did you put your victim in?
Probably the bed that was closest to the table, and if it was coinciding with the easiest to get them to and the furthest away from the door, then absolutely that's what we would have done. Otherwise, we would have just done the one furthest away from the door so that somebody didn't just go shove him as they walk through the door.
So I'm guessing the opposite side furthest, right? Not right next to the secret door. They walk through and they go, "Oh wow, look at that."
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, so I'm.
There's something dripping there. No.
Yeah. So this is under the mattress here. Really should have just thrown them out the window. That would have been.
Yeah, unfortunately, no window in the barracks.
So that was a fortuitous roll for you guys. So you guys are up first. Let's see. Orion, Felix, and Basil Bessex enter the barracks. You can see clearly you've seen these guys before. You fought them with the staffs, but they wear a tunic and like cloaks, and he is walking up where the secret door is, and he's like, Faustus Rex, where are you at? And he's like banging against the side of the wall as he's walking up the stairs. The body is on the other balcony. He's walking up the one that doesn't have him. And he hears the door open, and he's like banging, and he kind of like looks over his shoulder, and he's like banging on the wall. Like,
Felix can proceed to like move up the stairs as quickly as he can without being in a sprint.
okay.
Okay.
And then
So
if he can make it to him in that amount of time, he will just try to shove him off the balcony.
So yeah, you're like coming up the stairs as he gets to the top of the stairs, and you're going to try to knock him over.
Yeah.
All right, give me an attack roll.
Right. -4.
Yep.
we all gonna die.
Does a do I want to re-roll that?
I mean, I can tell you if it hits or misses, so you can decide. You don't have to. Like,
Okay. Does a 14?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna re-roll it.
Use your hustle point.
Yeah,
All right.
my one for the night. Oh no.
So you attempt to push him over the edge.
Yeah.
Okay. And he kind of like moves out of the way, and he's like, Orion or Basil Essex.
All righty. Let's get this train wreck truly and well started. Since I don't have that many arrows in my quiver, metaphorically speaking, I am going to control water that big hot tub that
Oh, nice.
what's his name was lodging in. And my entire aim is to keep this guy's head in the water so that he can't yell while, Mo and Curly over there attempting Three Stooges him to death.
Okay.
Of course, eventually the suffocation will kill him, but I expect things to fly out of control long before that.
Okay. So yeah, you move the water out of that pool, and the huge mass of water comes over and kind of like he is hit with it, and he is like immersed in a bunch of water. Basil.
So he's immersed in water. Basil's gonna pull out the rabbit flag.
Okay.
Does that count as his action?
I can't remember if we said that was an action or not. I would say, considering your condition, we'll call that an action.
Yeah, that's probably about as much as Basil can muster at the moment. So you get everybody gets a +2 on their rolls.
Yeah. So that will start. Yeah, that will start next round. What is he going to do? I don't. He is being submerged in water. So there's like a big like blob of water that has come and kind of like covered him. All right. So he manages. This is all he can do is he kind of like scoops down and scoots out of the way, out of the water. But that's all he can pretty much do. He's trying to avoid like being submerged. It is the next round. And I rolled a 2.
All right. I can roll my -4.
Does the +2 only count for attacking, or is it?
You know what? I think since yeah, we'll let it roll. We'll let it count for the initiative.
Okay. So I got a 0 instead of a -2 for initiative. Sorry, guys.
All right. So that guy scoots out of the water, and he says, I knew this was some sort of trickery. And he says something in Simian, as he yells, and Felix, save versus spells.
Okay. Hell yeah.
I try.
Success, barely.
Okay.
Success.
So just as you do that, you cover your eyes as he shoots this blinding light at you, trying to blind you. All right, that was his turn.
All right. Well, cover him with the water again.
Okay. Yeah, you catch him into the water, and he's like trying to, he's flailing around.
I know I'm making it difficult for you to punch him. Just go for the legs or whatever, or pick up one of the many weapons around and slice him with it. But we cannot let this guy talk.
Oh, it's fine. You do what you need to do.
All right, Felix will try and push him off again.
Okay. So you're only at -2 since you got a.
Yeah. Does a 16 hit?
Yep.
Oh yes.
So you run in and just like forearm and knock him back. Yeah, you managed to knock him right over the balcony because he really doesn't have any chance to brace himself or anything because he's in water. So you knock him over and he falls over. Let's see, D6. So roll 2d6.
Yeah. 7.
So he takes 7 damage as he crashes to the ground.
I guess Basil would try to run down the stairs to where he was pushed off and try to club him.
Okay.
With his fists.
Okay.
That is a 12.
Okay. Is that?
That's with the -4.
Oh, that's only a -2 because you got the flag.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. So that'd be a 14 then.
Okay, and I will say that's a hit because he's prone. Because you're just going down and punching him because he's on the ground. So we'll give you a +2 for that. Yeah, you hit him. Roll some damage.
Oh, that is 8 damage.
Nice.
Ouch.
Got a 6 on the die.
That is everybody. So go to Clintok and Quintus, who are outside the barracks there in the main hallway, and Quintus is like, he's saying, yeah, I think I don't know what they're doing those it's some kind of secret, something secret going on. Well, you were there. Do you know what's going on? What like where that portal goes?
Yeah. I mean, okay. I can tell you, but first.
Oh, did you hear that? Something going on in the barracks?
Yeah. They were trying to move around that drunk, so I assume.
Oh yeah, but tell me, what is it?
Anyways, I'm gonna tell you, but I'm gonna need something in return. They keep. All right. What do you know about fungus?
Fungus? Yeah, not much.
All right. Well, there's this fungus, and they're growing this stuff down there. And wait, before I go any further, if I tell you this, 1, you can't tell anybody.
Oh,
I told you.
not a problem.
And 2, I'm gonna need you to tell me where I can find that jackass human that worships Cuthbert that got carried through here.
Oh,
Because I need to plant my fist into his face for this.
okay. Yeah, the whole thing, you being humans, throw me off. It must have been. I heard they used that. It must be that black magic that they're using. I heard. I'd want to punch that guy in the face too. Now, look. So what? The last time I heard. Well, let me put it this way: when the new Emperor came and visited, well, it was like a day, couple. Was it like a day ago? The new Emperor was here. The one they replaced, because they got rid of the one at Clinkville.
Huh. Yeah,
but
about time.
Yeah, he was here, and he went to the lecture hall. So I don't know if they brought him down to the lecture hall to talk to him, but yeah. And he points in the direction where the lecture hall is. He's like, yes, you know where it is, right? You've been in there.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know. They brought him there. I don't know why. But
all right. So they're growing this fungus.
Mm-hmm.
And it's worth a lot. Because let me tell you, it has some magic properties when it's fully grown that the Ape Empire is trying to control, because they found the hobgoblins growing it. And it's supposed to give you magic abilities if you consume it. And
really?
yeah, and I've seen it with my own eyes. They're strengthening their hobgoblin armies by turning them into magic users.
He's like, what?
I mean, I know it sounds sacrilegious, but it's in better hands in the Ape Empire.
I'll have to ask Lucilla when she comes, because she gave me some of the fruits of what this thing grows into, and I tell you, I ain't got no magic abilities. I can't still do any arcane magic.
Oh, well, that's the thing. They haven't figured out the recipe yet. You can grow this a bunch of different ways.
Okay.
Sometimes it bears fruit, like what you're talking about. Other times, you get these mushrooms, and they're crazy. I've seen it with my own eyes. Go from raging barbarian, slithering lizard hobgoblins to fucking sacrosanct magic users overnight.
Wow.
And if you want, I wouldn't say anything. But I do have one of them here that I had collected. I was in the middle of things, as you might imagine, when all of this went down. But I can give it to you now if you want it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to take a look at it.
But if I do this, you're gonna have to eat it now, because we can't have evidence of this around.
I'm supposed to eat the thing?
Yeah, you'll have to eat it right now.
I mean,
because if any of the guards come in, they're not gonna want. I mean, I can't be caught with this stuff. Not here, not now.
yeah. Yeah, it's not. That's understandable. Yeah, yeah, sure. Okay.
Okay. Clintok's gonna sleight of hand the sleeping agent that we reduced the night before we left.
Okay. The mushroom.
From whatever the other mushrooms were.
Yeah.
And he's gonna coat the thing in the pot that he's carrying.
Okay.
Should I roll anything for that?
Just give me a dex roll.
Okay. Yep. 8 under 13.
Yeah, you managed to just kind of fiddle in your pouch, and he looks at it. He's like,
It looks horrid. I mean, that's the reason I guarantee we hadn't figured this out sooner.
he like looking at you real cautious as he goes to bite it. All right, we'll go to the next round.
What are you feeding the poor guy?
Whatever these things are.
The spore, and then he put with the sleeping stuff.
Agent.
All right, so
Oh, okay.
Orion and Felix have rolled. We got Basil or Clintok. So I'm gonna roll. I rolled a 6.
Oh well.
I guess Clintok can technically do this roll since he's not -4. But
yeah, you got because you're both all you guys are kind of in this thing.
Yeah.
That's fine.
No, sadly only 4.
So this guy's been punched, knocked off a balcony, and he's just like, what is? And he looks at Basil, who just punched him, and he yells something in Simian, and then he like you hear him like mumble something, and he yells, and give me a save versus spells.
All right. And this is something we want to roll above, right? So
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's a 2. I'm gonna use my hustle point.
Nice.
All right, that's a 17, so that makes it.
Nice.
Is that with your -4?
Oh shoot, that's a 13, which does not make it.
Okay, so I will say, would you have rolled even if you knew that? Would you have used your hustle point?
Yeah, because I rolled a 2 before.
Okay. I mean, I was gonna
Yeah,
say
because I would have had a 2 out of 10% chance of making it.
So you see this bright light flash, and Basil Bessex is blinded.
Oh,
Maybe it's the concussion kicking in.
I can't see.
all right. Felix is gonna charge down the stairs and
Yep.
slash him with the sword.
Okay.
An 18 -2, 16.
It would be -4. It's only minus. It would be it's only
just
for that
one
one round.
Okay, so 14.
I'm gonna say it's a hit because he hadn't gotten up yet. He was kind of in a daze,
Okay.
and then hit Basil with the spell. So he's still on the ground. So that is a hit.
For 6 damage.
Okay. Yeah, he's bloodied.
Yep. And same song, third verse.
Okay.
He is bloodied and he ain't talking. He's bloodied and he's underwater.
Maybe it'll
Yeah.
also make it harder for him to get up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and hopefully harder for him to say spells.
Yeah. Hopefully you're not blinded for that long, Basil.
I hope so.
Okay.
Even the blinded Basil would try to wildly just punch him, just to see if he could get land a blow. Just why not? So would that be how much is blind? Like, what's the penalty?
All right. So what did you roll?
It was a 10, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're just kind of swinging. You hit the water.
Yeah.
So the guy goes to eat the spore thing. He stops. He's like, "Did you hear something?"
I mean, have you tried moving that one of us when?
Yeah, I mean, Faustus can be kind of. Anyway, and he takes a bite and he's like,
He seemed like a feisty drunk last night.
"Yeah, it's kind of soap. It reminds me of soap." Yeah,
Yeah, it kind of does. Now you say something.
Got like a coppery taste.
Interesting.
Oh God, I'm gonna.
Trust me, you need to get it all down.
Okay. Oh, I'll do my best. And he like shoves it in his mouth. He's chewing it. Oh my God, it's terrible. Oh.
I'll say, open your mouth, just so I can, make sure everything, if it's taking its effect.
Okay, yeah. He opens his mouth up.
I just like view inside, and I was like, oh, I think there's some glowing at the back of your throat now.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa. I hope it's doing something. It tastes awful. Gosh.
It might take a little bit, a few minutes at least.
Okay. Yeah. And just
Me
as
too, though. Don't throw it up.
Just as you say that, you hear some double doors across the way open.
All right.
And the doctor, who you saw before, has got some books in his hand. He looks, he stops. He's like, oh, okay. Good. The other two are getting some rest, I hope. I'm working on this. And he walks over and opens the door to his, his area.
Yeah, I put them to bed a little bit ago.
Good. All right. It is the next round. And it is Basil Bessex gets to roll. He's the last one.
All right.
Go Basil.
That is 2 with
Hey.
-4.
All right. I rolled a 3.
All right.
So the guy, let's see, he is in the water, so he's going to try to get out of the water. Give him a roll, which he makes.
All right.
So he scrambles out of the water.
And this -4 is killing us.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
There's a reason I compared it to the Three Stooges. I'm not at -4, but I'm also not contributing to the fight other than slowing this guy down.
I mean, that's really helpful.
Yeah, I know.
So he looks, and he looks pretty pissed off, as you can imagine.
Well, yeah, I would try to kill him.
And he screams again in Simian, like, "Why hasn't anybody answered me?" Which, yeah,
What's he saying?
he's yelling like help or alert or and he's looking for his staff. You can see he kind of, when he gets up, he kind of looked for his staff, but he doesn't see it. It's laying on the ground somewhere away from him. He does not have it, which is actually a benefit for you guys.
Yeah.
But he yells out, and you see like crackles of electrical energy sort of come from his fingers, and he blasts a lightning bolt through the room.
Oh, crazy.
Save versus spells for Basil and
Felix.
Clintok, and Felix.
That would be a no.
Okay.
Nope.
Well, you are fully healed, so that's a good thing.
Yes.
As we go, and he doesn't have his staff, which is a good thing. We will roll the damage.
Oof.
Let's see. That is 9 plus 9. That's 18 damage. Those would have been D8s if he had his staff.
Oh my God.
So that's 18 lightning damage. It streaks across the room and goes and like hits the door, and like that like huge like circular like pull. It hits that and goes clang.
Clearly Felix has bad luck with lightning.
Yes, he does.
And he's down again.
I thought he was fully healed.
He was. His max HP is only 18.
Okay. All right. So you are exactly at 0.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, God. Burned. Okay. Lightning.
Basil's got 6 HP left, so he's hurting,
But not dead.
but he's not dead.
Okay, give me a D12, Wes.
Yeah. 7.
I don't think old Quintus at the front desk is going to believe that this is wrestling with the drums anymore.
Hopefully he's not awake for too much longer.
Felix just collapses to the ground, smoking.
What a repeat.
He's been blasted again. Okay. Basil and Orion.
I don't see anything. I mean, I'm looking around and damn it, there's nothing much better to do than to, slow this guy down, encase him in water again. Hope Clintok manages to get a nice little sneak attack in on the guy on the desk because, oh boy, shit's going to fly shortly if it isn't already.
Does anything happen with Quintus?
Oh, no, Quintus is just like, it's like really, really nasty. That's gross.
What's Basil doing?
I feel like Basil would just try to keep punching him because he's concussed. Yeah, I think he would just try to punch him again. And that's a 3 on the die, so he misses.
Yeah, you're blinded.
Blinded and concussed.
And concussed. Punching the water.
It's not very useful.
Well, when you're blind, there's not much you can do. Even if you are capable of doing other things at this moment.
Right. So I think after that, because Basil wouldn't really be capable of going anywhere, maybe like feeling his way up to like stand up or something, but that's about it.
Okay. Yeah, Clintok, you, and as he's like, he looks over at the door as you hear this loud, like electrical charge. He's like, I know you heard that.
Yeah, we should probably see what is going on.
We should. And he kind of gets up and starts walking over to the door. And he's like, oh, wait, no, I don't have my magnet.
Oh, fuck. Well, I guess we just go to the door and knock.
Yeah.
Somebody answers.
And you can see he's
the door still exists after getting slapped with 18 hit points of lightning. Whatever.
Hey, wood is an insulator.
So you can see he closes his eyes, like he knocks on it. Oh man, nothing happened. Thinking maybe he could like cast a spell or something.
I see. Don't worry, it takes time.
All right, so we've reset. So let's see. Felix can't roll because he's unconscious, so that's good. Basil is it? So it's either Clintok or Orion here for the next initiative round. That's I will roll a 4.
I think it's Clint. I think everybody's gone once. So
yeah, everybody's gone once. So you guys,
I'll go. Clintok will go. Oh, shit. No, I'll roll a different die. 6.
all right, you guys are up first. You hear knocking at the door.
I am not going to answer. Okay, let me ask a question. Can I maintain, now that I have him encased, can I maintain control and do an attack? Or do I have to use my attack action to keep him underwater? And he's breaking out half the time anyway, but
so yeah, you're controlling the water.
yeah, control water isn't a standard spell, so it doesn't.
Right.
I don't know. It doesn't say.
I will let you make an attack roll if you try to like manipulate the water to like force it into his,
Nice.
Oh, sure.
Drown him.
There you go. Because this is the first time I've had the ability to make a roll with him still underwater. I was him to flood the guy's lungs. Ha! Ha! At 20.
Yes.
Okay.
Shit you not. Nat 20.
All right. I'm gonna make let's see, a roll for him. I have to roll a 5 or below.
Okay.
All right. I did not roll that. 16. So it's basically like a con save.
Gotcha.
So he just is like collapses to the ground and the water is just like charging into his body. And basically you're gonna kill him.
Yes.
And then somebody is knocking at the door.
Clintok will yell out, "Hey, is everything okay in there?"
Everything's great.
What was that noise?
I stubbed my toe.
Basil, did you fall down the stairs?
This magic, this spell has been really getting to me. I'm getting the spins.
Do you guys need help getting that drunkard up?
No, we got this. It's just gonna be a little bit.
Well, once you guys are done, we could use that magnet back on the other side here.
Got it.
Very well. We'll let you know.
You got any cards or anything, Quintus? We can play a game while these people do whatever they're doing over there.
Yeah, I got some. Yeah, we play cards. Sure. Sounds like a good idea. That was a heck of a racket. Yeah.
Well, since I've still got the control water up,
Yeah.
unless I deliberately drop it for an hour, I'm going to dump him in one of the booths. It's not nearly as innocuous considering there's water fucking everywhere in here. But, the body is sitting over there in one of the booths.
Yeah, it takes like a couple. So I would say it wasn't like an insta kill, but he couldn't do anything, and it took like a couple rounds, and he was dead.
Okay.
But
Is that
yeah,
long enough for
right.
Basil to be unblinded? Yeah, how long was his blindness?
His blindness is going to last almost 2 hours.
Oh, definitely not.
Maybe you can go talk to the cleric.
Maybe we can talk to the doctor again. You wouldn't believe what this guy did to himself.
It's the second it's the onset. It's the onset. Second onset of the spell. It's caused blindness. You guys are just next.
All right, so you guys are like wrapping up the taking care of this body. And Clintok and Quintus, are out here like sort of. They got the cards out. They're just kind of like hanging out at that desk. Let's see, Russell, give me a D12, a 2D6 roll.
2d6. All right. A 2 and a 6 for a total of 8.
So the double doors, where he pointed, where the which is actually, if you look at the map, is number 3.
Okay.
It's like on the east.
Mhm.
Which he pointed, that's where the lecture hall was. The double doors open as you guys are playing cards, and a halfling comes walking through in poorer clothes than the elves. And Quintus kind of looks up. He's like, "Hey," he's like, "What are you doing here?" And he looks out. He kind of almost looks panicked for a second, like, "Uh-oh." He said, "You're looking for the employment compensation. It's right there. Don't you hang out here." And he like runs over and frantically opens those doors and scurries off.
Say gnome or dwarf?
It was a halfling.
Oh, halfling. The other small race.
Yeah.
Small ones. They're the dumbest.
Yeah, we get everybody through here.
Thankfully, I was transformed into one of those.
Once I stacked the body and realized that Basil is apparently still stumbling around in the dark, as it were.
Right, and Felix is unconscious.
Great. Oh, he's at 0.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. I will tell Basil to hold out his arms like this, and I will gently pick up Felix and put him in Basil's arms. And tell him, do not drop him. And I will push them both out the door, taking the damn magnetic lock thing.
Okay.
But I will push them out the door, saying loudly, "There must be some sort of secondary reaction. We have to take these guys to the doctor," and steer Basil towards the doctor there. Steer both of them towards the doctor there.
Yeah, Quintus just drops his cards. He's like, "What the what?"
Basil would be cursing. He's like, "Damn those hobgoblins, those sons of bitches!" God, and just like stream, like just cursing the
profanities.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah,
I figure our only chance is the poor overworked doctor coming up with something. Coming up with a case of stupids.
All right, so back he walks over. You knock on the door, and the doctor opens the door, and he just like, "Oh my God, come."
I don't know what happened. I will say, I don't know what happened. I mean, both of them, they crackled with lightning, and then that guy fell down, and I don't know what's going on here.
He kind of leads Basil in and has him lay Felix down on the table again. He sighs. Oh, okay. So, how did this happen? What did
I'm so sorry we're making your job hard, but we gotta save them.
So he looks at Felix and is Felix wearing armor?
Yeah.
Okay. So he works to get the armor off. And then he goes and gets some kind of salve that he starts to put on you. And takes his amulet that you can see. And he's like, and you're healed not to your max, but to half. So I think that's 9. You're barely conscious. You're like,
this magic. Oh. Yeah. Now Felix will have even more scars on his body.
yes.
Racking them and stacking them.
Well, if this is continuing, you need to let me help you. So he's like, you need to go downstairs. Let me help you.
Yes.
So he kind of guides you downstairs.
Yeah.
And there's like a pool similar to the one in the barracks, but the water's not bubbling. And he leads you over to like a bed, and he kind of lays you down and like, lay down here. You need to rest.
Yeah.
And he walks over and he puts his hand. There's like a large ceramic, it's like, like a flower, almost like a flower pot.
Mm-hmm.
And he puts his hand over it, and some flames come up, and it starts to heat the room. Says, you'll be warm. You need to stay and rest, and I'll observe to see if anything happens.
Yeah. Not going anywhere.
And he walks back upstairs. And he puts his hand in front of Basil Bessex like this. Blindness, too. Okay.
Are you doing something, Doc?
Yes. And he holds his amulet and he puts his hand like over your eyes. Like his big mitt is like almost covers your face. And then when he pulls his hand away, you can see it's kind of like a black and white. But the colors are kind of you have like prismatic, almost like a
aura.
It's like an aura. You see the auras. Yeah, so you got these like weird auras going across your vision. He's like, yeah, well, it should return soon enough.
Thank you, Doc. You're a lifesaver.
And he walks over and he pulls out like a stool and has you sit down. He's like, sit there for a moment. And then he looks at Orion. Well, I'm trying to get to the bottom of this, but there's not a lot of books on transformation and black magic in the archives. Though this is the strangest one I've seen.
I don't know. Is there something, maybe something still connected to their bodies that there are still ongoing effects?
I'll make sure you get plenty of rest. I'm going to have to go and speak with someone about this. This is very concerning. If who knows, others may be afflicted with this as well. Just make sure you keep an eye on them. Make sure that they don't do anything foolish. Sure, if it's happened to them, you are potentially could happen to you as well.
I'll look, upset, worried.
I hope not. That would be a terrible, terrible. I hope whatever natural immunity you had to this, or whatever effect, prevents the blindness. Well, this all started because of those damn Cuthbertians, the Cuthbertites. That one that was taken from the Hobgoblin Mountains. Do you know where they might send them?
Is Clintok with us, or is he still babysitting?
I'm guessing he's still out there with.
Yeah, still playing cards.
Do you know where they would?
All right.
Do you know where they would take? They would have taken that prisoner.
Aren't we suspicious? Oh.
Oh no, I mean, I examined him when he arrived, but he did not seem the black magic type.
Understatement.
He was a little bit too chatty for that.
Yeah, that's true.
These are the same group that started the rebellion in Clinkville, right?
If you're to,
that's all I ever hear about.
Well, that's the doctor. I will ask the doctor if you wanted to take a look at the other guy pointing towards the room Clintok is in, since he is also unaffected, since he is also unaffected by the follow-on.
Clearly you need rest, and you'll have to be placed in some sort of infirmary for a while. Let me just wait here, and I will go find someone.
So what all is down in this room that I'm in, like in the basement or whatever, wherever we're at? I'm not sure what floor.
So there's like a little fireplace and a bed. It looks almost like maybe someplace he stays at times. So there's some personal effects, like some pictures and a book, and some medical journals. There's probably some gold down here, like an extra cloak and some spare clothing. There's a bath with some soaps and a loofah sponge.
Nice.
So yeah, if the doctor is leaving, the first thing I'm going to do is go check on Felix.
There's a good doctor left.
Yes.
Any ideas on how to get us out of this one?
Orion just rolls his eyes and says, "These days I usually let Clintok figure it out, but he's apparently still playing cards." Which is okay. So, which is a point, Orion will pop his head out. And so does the doctor leave in the direction of the lobby, so they would have seen the doctor go?
Yeah, so the doctor comes walking out, Clintok, and he looks over. At Quintus, and he says, I'm going to speak with the Domus about getting these soldiers to the infirmary. They need to be watched and treated. And he stopped. He looks at Clinton. How are you feeling?
I mean, outside of being stuck in this hideous form, I feel fine. What's going on with the others?
They seem to have secondary effects from whatever this transformation was, or hex or curse or whatever this black magic that has been used against them. I'm not sure. I'm trying to track it down, but
Those poor bastards. Do you want me to come along?
no. I definitely want you to stay here. I don't
All right.
believe in case something happens and he's like, I just have to go. I'll return. And
Okay.
he goes out the double doors headed towards the lecture hall. And when he opens the doors, you can like the light sort of comes in and you can see that it's like a long walkway to the outside. You can smell like salt air or whatever, and you hear him like he opens the door and starts like running, and they close behind him.
Oh, he just starts running. Okay. I just look at Quintus and say, I mean, he said he didn't need help, but I just saw him do a 40-yard dash out the door. Seems like he's in a hurry. Like he could use some assistance.
I mean, well, he did say for you to stay, but
Well, yeah. I mean, I should stay, but I mean, do you think you should go help him?
I mean, he doesn't. I'm pretty sure he does. Fabius doesn't need my help.
All right. I mean, you would know better than me. I just thought since he looked like he was, it was a serious ordeal.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. You could maybe like vouch for him because, like, I can't imagine the Dominus.
yeah.
It'll be a hard story to swallow, right?
Yeah, considering what we saw.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I could go with you. Because otherwise, it probably doesn't even believe it. And if anything happens, you're there.
Yeah, but somebody's got to be here at the desk.
Okay. Fair enough.
But I mean, maybe I should go and see and just. I don't know. I mean,
Those elves aren't going to find the unemployment office themselves.
Yeah. I can definitely appoint people to the employment/wages.
give me a 2d6 roll. Add your charisma.
All right. So 8.
So he says, yeah, I'll just take a quick look to make sure. I'll be right back. Just I'll be right back.
Okay. I'll do my best to yell at people.
All right. He runs over to the double doors and opens them up. And you hear him yelling for Fabius. The doors close behind him.
And then I'll head towards where the rest of my companions are at.
Okay.
Everyone okay down here? Because the coast is clear for about a second. And I know the general direction of our wayward companion.
I think we need to start moving and keep moving until something stops us, because things are building up in the background. Let's put it that way.
We should.
Clintok says, is this where we start a distracting fire?
This is where we find new clothes and change our identities.
Oh, fair enough. That's easy to do.
There are
Do you know where there's change of clothes there, Castle?
Yeah, we saw the two elves go into the wages office. So there has to be other non-ape people here. So then they were probably living in a similar area. So we should just go with it. We should see if we could try to find for where the elves are living. So if we walk outside the door, let's just leave and see if we can find other non-ape people here and see if we could kind of get a sense of where they live and try to blend in with that crowd.
Seems like a good enough plan, but if Karn is anywhere, he is over this way, and like he'll point to the area.
Towards the
Is
lecture
that,
hall.
Yeah.
according to what I'm hearing, that's the same area, the lecture hall is in the same area that the doctor just left in, right?
Yeah. That's outside. That gets us out the outside going that way. I could smell the ocean air.
All right, and the portal still hasn't reopened, so
No.
for right now we're stuck halfway across the globe. I mean, we should know about where the capital is. How far away are we from where we were?
A long way away.
All right, I'm all for, live to fight another day.
All right. See if we can find a place where the non-apes live.
Yeah. So are we literally setting a distracting fire on the way out, because it sure won't make much of a difference when they find two bodies.
Yeah, it'll be a distraction. It'll be extra effort. I see no reason in not setting something on fire.
I'm sure the doctor has something heavily alcoholic or oil.
Felix just says, there's a fire downstairs. No windows. That'll create a lot of smoke.
Okay. So toss some of the doctor's alcoholic and or oily concoctions on the fire downstairs and vamoose.
Yeah.
Okay, so you do notice something weird about the fire downstairs is when you kind of get close to it, it's hot, but it doesn't actually burn your hands.
Magic fires. Meh.
But you could easily start a fire with the stuff that he has in here.
Yeah.
You know how to start a fire, so you're proficient at that.
Felix will push the dresser where like all the clothes and stuff were onto the bed and then start a fire that way.
Okay, in the basement?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you start the fire in the doctor's office. And head out. Give me a 2d6 roll.
4.
All right. Okay. So yeah, you're in the main area. You've started the fire, you step out, and you headed through the double doors.
Yeah, because I knew they led to the outside somewhere.
Okay. So you rush over to the double doors and open them. And when you open the double doors, it's a long like walkway. It's out in the open and it's covered. So, you wouldn't, so obviously the rain, but it's like a marble walkway. And on either side is a stream, various streams and small little footbridges. There are people sitting out, and there's also like stones and stuff because you can see it's kind of marshy.
Mm-hmm.
And there's areas for people to sit. So you can see that there are people like sitting out here, like talking or having a drink or discussing or whatever. And if you look to your left, there's another building, and you can see the water goes underneath it. And in the distance, you can hear what sounds like a lot of maybe like a waterfall or something. And then to the right, you can look and you can see where the water is pooled up. So there's, like a pond or something. And straight ahead is this massive building that is shaped like a giant cone that comes to a point. And it's a long walkway. And then kind of beyond that are all the buildings of Lindbergh. And the clouds are coming in. And there's you can see the bands of rain. It's probably recently rained here like a couple hours ago. And running towards you is Quintus. And he's running and he stops. He's like, what are you guys doing?
Oh, Craig. We can't get rid of this guy.
We came to get help. We tried to what's his name? Oh, you were talking to him. You know his name.
Are you talking to Quintus?
No, I'm talking to Orion. The one who got drunk, we had trouble getting him up. He passed out again. We were trying to get somebody help.
Faustus Rex.
Faustus, yeah.
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 Because I said, oh, could you watch the desk? Because he came out. And he said he would. And then I turned back around and he had passed out again. So I was trying to find somebody to watch the desk and hopefully deal with him.
Okay. Yeah, Fabius didn't need my help, but anyway, just don't wander off too far. And he runs past you and opens the doors.
Okay. Book it out of there as quickly as possible.
Okay, so you're going along this walkway. There's also it's like a common area. Think of like a
We're looking for a quick place that is A, out of line of sight, and B, still allows us to keep putting feet between us and the clusterfuck behind us.
Yeah.
So you guys are beating feet, and as somebody comes walking up through the because you can enter this walkway through this marshy area because there's all these stones you can walk on.
Mm-hmm.
And you see an ape step out in a cloak with a staff with a red crystal in it. He's like, oh, slow down.
We're on important business right now. What is it?
Kind of looks important business. He's looking you can see that he is looking you over.
Yes. I know we'd look like it's a long story. Did you talk to Quintus yet? He can tell you all the details.
Details of what? You should not be rushing through the quad area here. This is not a place to be running around. You should take your time and walk and take in the scenery.
Yes.
You're right. We will be more aware of our surroundings.
The serenity of it all. This is beautiful out here.
I don't know what I was thinking.
And the employment compensation office, and he points in the direction, is over there if you're looking for it.
That's going to be an ongoing joke. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm sure we will be well compensated after all of this.
Good day.
Yes.
And just continue on our way now, walking.
Yeah, he kind of looks back a couple times and shakes his head and slowly makes his way down the walkway. All right, so you guys come up to again, like it's just a large area, and you come up to a set of double doors that's ornately carved with various ape figures. And above it, it says pene concum, which means like an ape means like piercing cone. They call this. And you open the double doors, and there's some steps that lead down, and you can hear somebody talking. They're on a series of it's almost like standing on a pedestal, but it's a series like they walk up to it, so they're up and they're speaking, and there's all these stairs and benches around, and they're giving a lecture, obviously in Simian. There are apes and elves and a couple humans. There's a mixed crowd in here, and they're all listening. Let's see. Orion would know. They're talking something. They're recounting some of the traditions of the Ape Empire. It sounds like some historical thing from like 200 or 300 years ago.
Well, I'm thinking keep moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if we can find, a walkway outside of the lecture hall so that we don't, disturb people and then get yelled at for it and get called up and thereby get noticed.
Okay, so what's the plan?
Just try and make our way. Yeah.
Looking for a way through the building that doesn't involve going through the lecture hall.
Yeah. Still trying to keep an eye out for other non-apes to seeing if they're heading in a certain direction or.
Well, this is definitely a mixed group in here.
Gotcha.
Oh, so we could.
And the lecture is talking about something about the vision of Queen Ventana, and this is basically Orion would figure out that they're talking about when she had the vision to expand the Ape Empire and for it to become what it became, and that was like 250 years ago. So he's going into that. A human man comes walking over, an older man with a beard, a slight limp, and he says, there's some seats over there if you wish to sit down.
Choices. I don't say this out loud. I'm just sort of thinking, continue to flee or hide in plain sight and, hopefully, get the people, follow the crowd out when it becomes time. Choices. So what I actually do is sort of look over at the rest and go, actually, what the hell? It's always a good one. I will say to the man, yes, that would be wonderful, but can you point us to the bathroom first?
We like to go together.
Some of us need moral support, and then looks over at Orion.
I obviously roll my eyes at both of those, like like I know they are making fun of me and whatever.
So he says, yes, the laboratory. He goes over to the double doors and opens them and like points to like a shelter, like a marble building. He's like, they're right there. There are none inside here.
So then we'll
Okay.
head in that direction.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess we'll head in that
Well,
direction because it would look really odd if we didn't. Now that we asked him.
I don't need to go to the bathroom anymore.
I just wanted to know, just in case. I mean, actually, it could be valid.
The urge is gone now. Sorry. False alarm.
Shy
False alarm.
bladder syndrome. There you go.
So it's off to the side. It's like it looks very fancy for a laboratory. And you're walking, and there are like some small trees with like they have red leaves on them, and it's a grassy area, and there are some people walking around, and some are sitting with like a blanket. Maybe they're having a mid-morning brunch or something. So you go over to the lavatorium. Somebody comes out and says, "Do not go in there."
Well, that got us the lecture hall. Good thinking there, but I don't know where we go from here.
Yeah, is there a way to retreat, or are we surrounded by inhospitable terrain and
I mean, you can just go deeper into the city.
Yeah. I think that makes sense. Trying to find a place that looks like it's like a retail area. We can buy some clothes for disguises.
Yep.
Okay. You gonna stop and ask somebody?
Basil would hail down like a non-ape. Someone we don't have to try to like dodge around, but asking, hey, where do we go?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Hey, what's up? How's it going?
Yeah. I'm in need of some new clothes. Do they sell non-ape clothes here?
Yeah, your stuff kind of smells bad.
Yeah.
You don't look too good either. You all right?
No. Where
the
can
employment compensation office is over that way.
They're not gonna help. That's not gonna help. A couple questions. One, where can I go buy clothes or find clothes?
Oh yeah, man. Ooh, he kind of looks you over. He's like, I'd go. I don't know. Lower Crowns area might be. You must be new. You guys new in town then?
Somewhat. Just haven't fully explored the city yet.
Yeah.
Lower Crowns. Okay.
Yeah, it might be a little bit. I don't know how heavy your coin purse is. It might be a little bit on you. Kind of. It's like that might be a little bit too rich, too much for you guys. But what are you looking for? What kind of attire?
Something on the nicer end.
I mean, like clean.
Clean. Yeah. Most things are a step up from this.
Oh, whatever is on trend here. That's what I'm looking for.
Oh, you ain't gonna afford that, buddy. Sorry.
I think I very well can.
He points, like he said, the second houses are that way, but you wouldn't be able to get in there, and the Fleligre are that way, and you would know that that's like the lower class. It's like, just go down the hill that way towards the docks. You'll find their part of town.
Okay, fine.
Do they have inns down there?
Yeah, you can get you an inn, some place to stay. Yeah, sure.
Good. Great. Well, thank you.
Yeah, sometimes you just make sure you check the room. Sometimes people stuff like bloody clothes and stuff in the mattress, under the mattresses and stuff. So let's be careful.
We'll check the mattresses before we lay down in them at least.
Yeah. 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 It's pretty cheap. Let me see. Is there he says the Snarling Monk is the place that you get a fair price. So you hear as you're making your way, walking through like this kind of outdoor area amongst these buildings. You're walking sort of in. It suddenly becomes very commercial, and you just kind of filter in with the rest of the populace out here in Lindbergh, as people are outdoor vendors. You can smell, obviously you're always smelling the salt air, and at certain points you're walking, you can see out into the ocean and all the ships that are coming in and the various smells. People cooking food out in the street and people hawking wares, and you get a couple sideways look, but no, you don't really stand out. After a certain point, like you cross over a footbridge and there's this definite change of tone, as it's very poor. Probably not poor like Clinkville or poor like Twin Rivers, but it's this would more be considered like middle class there, but here it's considered poor. So they're basically like 3-story houses with like the stairs. I mean, like the outside stairwells, and there's a sign, Snarling Monk. You can see it as you go by. It's a wooden sign, and there's some people hanging out.
While we're on their way there, I'll sort of turn to the others and say, okay, despite every, sane prediction, we managed to get out of there, but we're stuck halfway across the world. We still don't know. Still haven't gotten hold of Karn. I mean, what the hell? If I'm going to write a story about this, I'm going to have to survive to tell it,
I could use some more rest. I'm not picky at this point.
Okay, good point.
Right.
I guess the next fun question is, who has money and how much?
Oh, I always have money, thank you. I can pick up the tab. You can pay me later, Orion. I'm sure you're good for it.
I also have
His
one.
eyes narrow at you. Whatever. Not worth arguing right now.
Well, we're here, and assuming we could find some way to change our look up a little bit, we at least can scout the city and see if we could at least learn where the prison might be.
I mean, Quintus said they took Karn to the lecture hall. We've already been there, but maybe we can come back in a little more nondescript clothing and get some more info. I say we turn in for the evening. Get a early rest. It's about noon after all. Could use a siesta.
I mean, we've been also up all night.
Exactly.
Yep. Fair enough. We keep running. If we keep running as is, we're just gonna die again.
So we'll head to the drowning monk.
Snarling Monk.
Snarling Monk.
The Snarling Monk.
We'll head to the Snarling Monk.
Okay. So you go inside, the first thing you can smell, there's a certain like salty smell, and you smell cooking meat, and you see somebody walk by with this plate with the, with a couple bowls of like some kind of soup, and smells like spicy. Smell the spices in it. And an elven woman comes up to you and she says, she looks at you and she says, follow me. And she sits you in a booth. Today's specials is the kidney bean salad, the hot pepper yam, venison soup, and stewed snails. For dessert, we have chocolate banana pie.
So do you get all of that, or just you could pick one?
You can, if you have coin, you can get it all.
I'll have the kidney beans and the venison. Double up on that venison.
What do you think the protein content of the snails is, Basil? Are they worth eating?
No.
No.
Okay, just pie.
What
then.
the heck? I'll have the snail. Sounds fun.
What's Felix and Clintok gonna eat?
Clintok is ordering the pie, and
Okay.
Felix will get 2 portions of the venison.
So she's like, 3 gold. That includes drinks for everybody.
Here you go. And Clintok gets out 4 gold pieces and tells her to keep the change, so to speak.
Okay. Thank you. And she hurries off. It looks pretty crowded in here. There's like the lunch crowd you can see is coming in. And it looks, you can see that it's sort of a lower class, middle class type of feel. And they, bring the food to you. Smells really good. Give you a nice slice of chocolate banana pie. Like decent. This looks like decent food for a place that's actually in a lower class part of Lindbergh.
Oh, nice.
So anything to discuss here at lunch, or are you just going to get lunch and then get a room?
Yeah.
We kind of eye like what the people are wearing here.
They're definitely working class. You don't see any apes in here.
Did we see people dressed similarly in the lecture hall? Like when those mixed groups, was there?
Yeah, you'd probably catch some of them. Yeah. So you can tell that some of them are like day laborers, and maybe some of them are like university students.
Gotcha.
Because this is fairly close to the docks, so there's that element is here as well, like probably people from different ships and stuff.
If there is somebody like next to us and Basil like would overhear them, he like while we're eating, he would like try to get their attention and be like, I really like that shirt.
Okay.
The way it makes your biceps, the way it really emphasizes your biceps is the look I'm going for. Where can I get some duds like that?
Okay. You see somebody there who's got the hot pepper yam eating, and they're kind of like by themselves. They've got a notebook that they've been kind of like writing in. They are a dwarf. And so you guys are like in a booth, and they're like in a round table. It looks like it's made for maybe 2 people could sit here, but there's nobody next to him. And he hears you say that. This is what you interested in my wares? What?
Yeah, they look great on you. I want to just seeing if you got them in town.
Let's see, what is he wearing? Let's see. He's got a petticoat.
It'd be great if he's wearing a petticoat.
He's got a petticoat with sandals. Wearing a cape.
Okay, that's a weird combo.
Here for it. If for no other reason that Basil starts wearing it.
If that's what people are wearing, when in Rome.
Yeah, he's got an apricot colored petticoat with a smoky gray cape.
Jeez, I can't tell if that's a fashion disaster or whatever.
So where did you get that petticoat?
There's a vendor just down the road. Are you looks at the rest of you new here in Lindbergh?
I've been here a time or 2 before, but not much, not very often.
And he kind of scoots out of his little table and grabs his plate and sets it down at the end and scoots his chair over and sits down. So, what are you in town for?
And Orion thinks, let's see. The murders come to mind. Trashing Clinkville. I don't know what they're going to charge us what's there, but definitely trashing Clinkville. Oh well.
We've come to check out something.
Out loud he'll say, seeing the sights, greatest city in the world after all. After we're done spending our money seeing the sights, maybe looking for jobs.
Looking for work.
But in the meantime, we want to fit in. Need some reasonably priced clothing stores.
Oh well, yes, you can. These coat he like showing off his petticoat. These were practically free.
Well, there you go. Did we notice anybody else wearing petticoats?
No.
At the university?
No. Oh, at the university, yeah, there would have been at least one person with a petticoat on, and at least one person with a cape, because it's the university.
Well, you can't argue with that. Which direction was the vendor? We'll just head that way.
Oh, if you just go down there and I could take you there if you wish. My name's Destrin Girdbone.
Destrin Girdbone. Nice to meet you.
Yes. Nice to meet you as well.
I'm Basil.
As Orion very carefully does not roll his eyes at the wanted fugitive giving his own name, but whatever.
So what kind of work are you looking for, Basil?
Well, remains to be seen. Probably something some sort of day laboring. As you can see from my As you can see, I'm I I have a lot of labor to offer.
Well, you kind of looks like you've seen some. You've had a bit of a injury, perhaps. It's quite a scar.
Well, that's just the one on my face.
Yes, yes, it is on your face. Yes. And your friend here looks like he's had some burns.
That's just the one on his face. We've had a rough go.
It looks like it, I would say. It looks like it.
Hoping that our time here will be far less eventful. It seems we had a chance to walk through the quad, the university. It's
Oh,
nice.
oh yes. There's sorts of opportunities to at higher education and lectures, and Ape Empire has done a lot to bring these opportunities to us.
Yeah, everyone seemed like they were loving it.
Oh, and it's this nice day. Spring has finally come.
Do you ever attend the lectures?
Oh, once in a while I do, yes. Uh, you know, when I have the time and it strikes my fancy.
Is that something that most people in the city do?
Oh, I think so. Most learned people do that.
Makes sense. Nice. Well, we're thinking about we might check out a couple lectures here and there if any catch our eye.
Oh, it's well worth it. There are various lecture halls.
So, what news from the ships have you heard?
Oh well, uh, we've heard that there was an embargo at Clinkville, but that has been lifted, and hopefully the new Emperor, can settle hostilities there with the faction, some sort of religious faction that has sprung up. We heard there was some trouble.
Hopefully. Yeah, it was quite a mess, as the reports say.
Yes, it was. Yes, I heard that there's the mayor of that Clinkville is now working in the Lindbergh salt mines.
Oh, is
Couldn't
that
happen to a
so?
nicer guy.
Mental note: don't go to the salt mines.
Yes, it.
Is that the only place? So was he taken prisoner? Or was he arrested or
Oh no, he was arrested. There was some sort of he apparently was in on what was going on. There was a lot of corruption in Clinkville, from what I've been told.
do they is it I just got here. Is it customary to send prisoners to the salt mine or
Oh,
send
the salt mines, very historic. Yes, anyone can end up there. It is. Most convicts go there. Uh, you know, they get the work out of you, and you are able to contribute something back to society for the crimes that you've done.
I see.
Literal salt mines. Oh boy.
Well, if I were wanting to avoid going to the salt mines, where would I not go?
You would
Just so I can make sure that I steer clear of that part of the city.
oh, I don't think it has anything to do with part of the city, just as long as you are an upstanding citizen and pay your taxes and debts on time and treat people accordingly, then you wouldn't have to worry about that.
Do they raise the taxes here too?
Well, they're not an issue here as far as overburdening the populace.
Well, we can certainly manage that.
I'm not doing. I have the afternoon off. If you need me to show you around, I can do that. Since you're all new here.
Sure. Basil would turn to Orion and Clintok and Felix. It seems we have a guide. At least if we wanted to do a tour this afternoon. Or do you want to do that another day?
I could just go to sleep now after eating, but you guys can go on a tour if you want.
Yeah, I don't know what are we in relative time? I mean, as in, to us, is it morning or afternoon?
It's beginning to be afternoon.
Okay, so I mean, we went through a nasty battle. We were all injured, some of us worse than others. I mean, technically, Orion could probably keep going by the hit point count, but but I will sort of poke Basil in his rather recent electrocution wounds and go, I'm very sorry, but I think we could all use some sleep.
Wouldn't mind a little tour if you're free another day.
I could probably do something. What is today? He opens his little notebook out and starts looking. Says, let's see, today is the 19th. On Rest and Prayer, the 21st, I am probably available. Gladly give you a tour.
Wonderful. We could meet you here then.
Yes.
So yeah, schedule some convenient time to meet him, lunch or whatever.
Okay.
Sure. So we set the date for Rest and Prayer Day.
Okay, yeah, 21st. Today's the 19th, so the 21st, you're going to meet Destrin at the Snarling Monk. So you guys going to get a room here?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So the upstairs room, a shared room is going to be 1 gold piece. But it comes with a drink. So you get a drink down here.
Nice. Well, I said I would cover you, Orion. I still will. Slides the 1 gold piece over for the shared room.
Actually, that is a question as to how much he's got on him. I know it converted a lot to gems and put them on the yak. Say.
Yeah, the 1 gold piece will cover 2 people in the room.
Okay.
So is it going to be Clintok and Orion and Basil and Felix?
Yeah.
Sure.
Felix turns to Basil and says, "I'll flip you for it. Call it." And then like flips a coin in the air.
Heads.
All right, I'm paying, I guess.
All right,
That
so
slides the coin across the desk.
okay, so you have to wait like a couple hours, kind of hanging out because the rooms aren't, and they're rustling people out of their rooms, and
Yeah.
they do a quick changeover. There are 2 beds. There's a small little window that you're not sure if it even opens. That looks out onto the street. You're at like the 2nd level. And they bring up your ale, with your room, so it's sitting in there. And you can rest the rest of the day or do something if you plan on doing something the rest of the 19th or not.
Felix definitely wouldn't be in his given state. He's literally just gonna like pass out in his room until the next day.
Yeah, he's been dead and brought back twice today.
Yeah.
And honestly, again, by hit point counts, Orion could probably do something. But on the other hand, been in a battle, jockeyed across half the globe, couple of fights on top of the battle, then all the mental stress. It's like, nope, not feeling it. Yes, Orion is being a boring boy again. It's almost like it's in my character notes by now, but it's not yet.
Basil would try to go check out the fashion district, or at least in the direction where the petticoats were at. Maybe he wouldn't get petticoats, but I think he would spend some time the following day trying to find different clothes.
Okay.
So the following day is a different matter. Settle in for a really long night, and then the following day, we need to change our look completely and do a little local scouting, that sort of thing.
Yeah, Clintok this afternoon will wander away from the inn a little bit, not super far away, but not like right next to it. So I don't know, a handful of blocks away. I guess I don't know exactly how big this is, where like the next like little neighborhood kind of business district over.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll find somebody that looks approximately his stature, and we'll pay him to swap clothes with him. I mean, just, you know what? I feel like these clothes really aren't me anymore, and feel like we wear the same size. And trust me, these are a little bit gross now, but clean them up. They are high quality, and more than appropriate trade for what you're wearing now. And I will also throw in gold piece.
So,
oh boy.
So this human man, you stop. You realize he's missing a hand. He says, "You want to swap clothes with me?"
Yeah. It's the only clothes I brought with me. Well, not the only ones I brought with me, but let's just say it was a rough journey. The trunk that I had that had all my other clothes in it fell off the wagon down a cliffside, and I wasn't about to go after them. So I just want to change of clothes. That's it.
Right. So basically you've done something, somebody's looking for you, you don't want to be seen in these clothes.
Well, yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
man.
It's understandable.
And the gold pieces, in case you get roughed up at all.
Well, I ain't foolish enough to be wearing them around town.
Fair enough.
You need a place to stay?
Nah, I got that covered. But well, on second thought, do you have the name of a good place, or are you offering some place on the down low?
There's a couple places I could that you could hold up in if you had to for a couple days. Couple
All right.
places that the Ape Empire isn't sure, where to go.
I'm all ears.
So what kind of skill set you got?
I'm pretty handy getting in and out of places. Unseen normally. Normally, that is.
Good. You do second story work, sounds like.
Oh yeah, second, third, fourth story, whatever needs to be done.
So they're looking for you here or what?
Not here, but here, and gestures to the wider city.
Gotcha. Okay. It's a big city. People get lost all the time.
Exactly.
But the apes do have a way of finding people.
It's true.
How long you need to lay low?
Oh, I got a job in the next day or two. So probably place to lay low for 2 or 3 days after that.
Okay. And how you plan on getting out? Are you going to get a ship out of here?
Yeah, ship.
Okay.
If I have to go out on foot, I have to go out on foot, but not my ideal option.
You working alone, or you got another? There
I got-
others?
I got a crew.
Yeah, they always got a crew, don't they? Well,
New in town, and he's already setting us up for criminal enterprises. Lovely.
there's a place in more the high finance part of town we can stash you in if you need to hang out.
Got a name or an address?
There's a shrine in the middle of town, kind of in the middle of this like district area. There's a lot of banker types and a lot of people with money. There's a shrine in the middle of town, and you just go and talk to somebody. Just tell them Bertram sent you.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And can I get those clothes?
Yeah, you sure can. So he starts to give you his clothes. So yeah, they sort of kind of fit. He kind of grabs your clothes.
They're due for a good wash, I'd say.
Yeah, I'll probably burn them.
Yeah, I was implying.
So yeah, you have he just hands you like a cloak. Yeah, it's a cloak and some pants and some like regular leather shoes, a little bit worn.
All right.
What color? The cloak is russet colored.
Oh, nice.
Russet. Sorry,
so-
I'm just imagining the local thuggery going, no, that's not dark red. You film. What are you, an uncultured maniac? It's rusted. It's russet. Never mind. Shows dried blood so much. It hides the dried blood so much better.
I'll have you know, this is aubergine, not eggplant.
So you're going to go to the shrine? Are you doing that today?
I'll do it tomorrow, I think, is probably.
Okay. Are you taking everybody, or is it just?
Yeah, I'll take everybody when we go to the shrine tomorrow.
So you get whatever sleep you can get. It is a loud, busy street at all hours of the night.
Yeah.
People drinking. You're not that far from the docks. You can hear like the ships coming in. You know, the sailors get off at, they come in 3 a.m. and they're piling into the Snarling Monk or whatever. There's some other bar that's across the street that's like buzzing at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Bet they've got dueling pianos too.
Yeah. All sorts of shenanigans going on. And so you make your way over, you move into what looks to be a finance district. There's a lot of nice buildings, people in very sophisticated clothing. You kind of stand out, but it's a lot of foot traffic. And there's a shrine. It looks like an old it's worn out. They haven't kept it up, but there's a shrine kind of in this area where it's like a circular walkway that people go around, and it's a ship.
Oh, interesting.
That it's not actual. It's kind of like 1/4 the size of a ship, but it's a ship, and it's being grabbed by some kind of like creature, like an octopus or something. And the whatever plaque was on it has worn off. And underneath the shrine there's a wooden door that looks barely on the hinges. And it's like roped around. There's a little walkway with some grass around it, and the grass looks burned and dead. And the door is just kind of ajar. And there's some music playing inside. And you walk in, and somebody is strumming like a lute. Yes, strumming a lute with his feet up on like a desk. Oh, well, yes, welcome.
Yeah, so I'll lean in and close and say, is it Bartosz?
Bertram.
Bertram said I could find a nice place to lay my head for a few days if need be.
Yes. The weary are always welcome here. And he walks over and closes the door and pulls up a trapdoor. He moves a piece of rug, opens a trapdoor in the floor.
Nice.
And he's, be my guest.
Well, shall we? And then proceed to head down.
Okay.
Sure.
So you begin to walk down, and it's it smells. There's some mold. There's some old chests down here that are rusted. There's some like bed rolls that have, who knows the last time. I mean, they look in rough shape. There's some rats or something scurry when you hear them scurry about. It's a dirt floor. But as you come down on this, there's like a mirror, like a painting that's hanging up on the wall, and next to it there is a carving, and the painting looks like an elven man. It's faded. He looks almost noble. But next to it, on the wall, is carved in the rock is a symbol, and the symbol is a triangle with looks like a square dice in it, with a rapier going down the center. Orion, give me an intelligence roll.
An intelligence roll, flat, dead average, 10. That would be a no.
Okay. Clintok, give me an intelligence
Sorry.
roll. That's
Yeah.
okay. You might know this, so.
Yeah, success.
So as you look at the symbol, you realize that you've probably seen it before. But this is the symbol for the Sons of Mantro.
And what do I know about the Sons of Mantro?
They are a group that is against the Ape Empire, and sort of their number one.
Wow.
They're sort of a criminal organization. They've got their hands on a lot of different things.
Got it.
We stumbled right into, never mind.
And that's probably a good place to stop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now we got help to break out Karn.
Yep.
Well, I figured,
Oh, yeah.
I figured, well, Clintok's going to like change clothes with somebody. Probably, he probably will either has an eye or would know who to talk to, right? You're not just going to do it with anybody. It's a little bit sketchy what you do.
Right. Yeah.
That makes sense.
I'm sorry. Clintok doesn't do sketchy terribly well. He does, I'm trying to think of the right phrase. Chutzpah isn't enough of a phrase for what Clintok does most days. But I suppose chutzpah will have to do until I come up with something even better.
What level is Orion?
He's 4.
Okay, you're 5 now.
Oh, nice. Congrats.
Really?
Yeah.
That was fast. Okay.
Yeah, you're 5.
Yeah, I'll bump him up then. Not complaining.
Yeah,
I'll bump him up.
Yeah. Poor Felix. Gosh.
I mean, getting hit with like an 18 hit point lightning bolt strike. And then 20 the session before.
Yeah, I randomly rolled to see what the spellcaster had.
Yeah.
And I had to give him at least one sort of with the crystal. I didn't want fire or cold, so I was like, well, I'll do lightning. That's the same. That's a 3rd level. So I had 1 lightning bolt plus, what was it? 2 light spells or darkness, and then he had wizard lock and detect invisibility. But the staff allows him to like make, instead of rolling D6s, he rolled D8s.
Yeah.
So it would have been 5D8.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So now he can't wear armor.
Yeah.
He's got blood loss. He's burned. And And also the roll I made at the very beginning was for Dolly to see what she was going to do.
Gotcha.
Because obviously something was going on the other side, and that would kind of dictate how she would handle the situation.
Right.
Right. There's all sorts of shit going on. I mean, it's not like Remy is going to go off trying to rescue us. I mean, she's trying to help out her Charlie. So at some point, she's going to write us off and want to keep going. Probably pretty soon too, considering.
Clintok did say, "Wait 3 days." I think that's what his Remy asked him, and Clintok said, "Wait 3 days."
Yeah, and we're stuck halfway across the continent. I say that without knowing the actual measurements, but halfway across the continent, just
with no clear way on how to get back.
You just got to find Commodious First Class.
Yep. It'll get us there instantly.
Sure, that'll go real well.
What the heck is that you guys are talking about?
That was that was like Basil's main, like that was the main thing Basil wanted to do, was to win the Commodious First Class. It was like to win the arm wrestling and to win the championship prize of all arm wrestling championships, and which is a
okay.
Which is basically just the plot of that that Sylvester Stallone movie.
So yeah, this ain't looking pretty, I can tell you. But on the other hand, we're alive, and cannot believe that Clintok's BS got us through another situation.
It was good thinking. I was thinking I was gonna be like, I was gonna play being prisoner, like we were forced to come over here, but starting off as like not a prisoner, but as like
your transformed ape certainly is a step up from prisoner. Yes.
Yeah, that was well done. And thank you for not murdering the doctor.
After all the help that he did,
you never know.
He deserves to live for at least a little while. Although I imagine he's going to be pretty upset when he gets back home and finds his apartment has been burned.
Smoked out at a minimum, yes.
I was wondering if you would go anywhere else in that place other than the doctor's office.
I mean, we sort of kept to what we intended. We found out where Karn went. We decided it wasn't anywhere near where we were, and so we couldn't retreat, and we couldn't get to Karn. So at that point, it's DTFO and live to cause trouble another day.
The sleeping elixir was good.
Nice.
That was good. That was good. The fight with the spellcaster. So I was rolling randomly to see who was going to show up, like in this area, and you didn't. There was some stuff that was a lot worse.
I could only imagine.
The captain was probably a lot worse. I'm sure he has enough levels and skills to just power through us no matter what.
Yeah, there was some stuff there like that would have been bad, but hey, got through it. Live to fight another day.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, you might help with this. Maybe you'll help this group. Maybe they know where he is.
Well, we have somewhat of a similar goal. At least the goal of screw the Ape Empire is similar.
And who knows? Maybe we even free the mayor of Clinkville.
Yeah. He would really owe us after that.
Considering what we did to him, I think frothingly berserk would probably describe his reaction to us.
We could just let him rot in the salt mines, or we could free him, though. That's
true.
Okay.
All right, take it easy, guy. Thank you.
Yeah.
Right.
All
Have a
right.
good night.
Take care.
Thanks.
For running, Pete.